Hi there, it's Ave. Welcome to The Good Life. It's Friday, and Friday's weekend is certainly made for barbecuing, especially when the weather's warm. Me personally, I like to barbecue all year round, whether it's warm or maybe not so warm out, because you're not spending the entire time outside at your barbecue. A couple of essentials as we make the world's greatest, always perfect barbecued chicken is you have to have the right equipment. So in going with your equipment, got a couple of different things here. It's important to use a good quality charcoal. Now, I prefer to use the hardwood, just a regular hardwood, but if you can't find hardwood, or if you have a challenge with hardwood because it tends to smoke a little bit more than briquettes, then try and find an all-natural hardwood briquette, which is what we've got going on here. The second thing, it's very, very important to not use any type of lighter fluid on your charcoal, because the lighter fluid will actually influence the flavor and what you're going to get on whatever meat you're cooking up. Those flavors will get in there, and for me barbecuing, especially over charcoal, it's all about the great flavors of a steak or a fish, or tonight we're having a chicken breast. Last thing, it's important to have a nice grill. This is not an expensive grill. It's something you can easily find at Home Depot or Lowe's or any hardware store. This is kind of a cheater grill because you have gas on one side and you have charcoal on the other, and you can also put a smoker attachment to this. I do have a Lazy Man smoker, which is an electric smoker, which I've come to find does not do anywhere near as good of a job on smoking as a gas smoker or just regular wood smoker will use. But I'm not using my smoker attachment on this. I've got a nice deep grill grate here, copious amounts of charcoal. It's important to me. You can't have too much charcoal, but you certainly can't have too little. And the last thing you want to have done is for your heat to go before the meat is done. So you'll join me inside. I'll show you how we prepare these bone-in chicken breasts. So what we've got here are some nice sized chicken breasts. These are chicken breasts with rib meat. Now it's important to have these chicken breasts be as thawed out as possible. You certainly don't want to let them get to room temperature. So you want them to be thawed out, or else your cooking can be very uneven. And that's one of the trickiest parts about cooking chicken breast, is the fact that they really have a tendency to burn or dry out, especially out on the grill. Another important thing, when you get your chicken breast, make sure you wash it properly. You want to kind of open up that cavity there, clean out any of the fat that's in there, and you'll notice at the end of the chicken breast, oftentimes at the end of the skin here, you'll have this big hunk of meat. Skin is important to keep on. It's going to seal in some of the moisture, but you want to take this off, because if this renders on the grill, it will also lead to flare-ups, and when you have flare-ups, your chicken gets burnt. So we're going to cut that piece of fat off right there, and try and get rid of a little more of the residual fat there. I also like to make a little pocket right here at the top. Rinse it out. We're going to utilize that pocket to do our rub. Do a nice little seasoning in there. Trying to get off as much moisture as possible. You want to dry the chicken as well as you can with a piece of paper towel. Nice and easy. And yes, Mom, I did wash my hands before doing this. She asked after the omelet video a week ago, did you wash your hands? There are our breastises. Now we want to spray these down with just a little bit of canola oil. Don't use the expensive olive oil for something like this. Olive oil is great if you're cooking and you're utilizing the oil for some flavor. With this here, all we want the canola oil to do is to give us a surface that we can throw this rub on. Now you can use salt and pepper, you can use lemon pepper, you can use some prepackaged chicken rubs. I'm going to try two different rubs on this chicken here. I've got young boys eating tonight, so I don't want it to be too spicy. So the first one is a very, very mild spice. These guys right here, Fiesta brand seasoning. If you can find it, get it. Just about everything they do, especially their fajita seasoning, is brilliant, beautiful, and wonderful. And we're going to pour the chicken rub relatively liberally on these two breasts right here. It's okay to go a little crazy, a little overboard with your rub. I'm going to get that pocket right there. Throw some rub down in there. And some people say don't worry about the bottom. I like to season the whole darn thing, because you're probably eating some of that bottom down there. So now we got lots of good seasoning on that. Make our little cavity there. Gonna throw some more seasoning in there. Just like so. Get a little bit of the back. when you open up this back corridor here, it'll allow you to get a nice bit of rub down in between those two as well. Now, my favorite rub on the planet is from the worst barbecue in Texas, aka Rudy's. You have a Rudy's near you, good for you. You're one of the fortunate ones. If you don't, well, watch and weep. This stuff is a dynamite rub. This is a rib rub. Can it be used for chicken? Absolutely. After you get your rub on, you want to have your chicken sit in the rub, not for a long time, much like shrimp. Chicken, unlike beef, will really absorb any type of seasoning, whether it's a marinade or a rub, considerably quicker than the tougher consistency of a beef. So let those sit for about 10 minutes, and we're going to throw them on the grill. All right, we've got a really, really good solid heat here. I took the coals, I kind of spread them evenly around to make one relatively even layer across the bottom. Let the grate sit on here for about 5 minutes or so. You want to burn off any residues without losing the seasoning of the grate itself, and make sure that it's nicely sterilized. One thing that I like to do is take a little of that canola oil just to prevent some sticking, and real quickly just kind of spray the top of the grate, just like that, because you don't want your chicken to be sticking. Chicken shouldn't be sticking. Now this is very important. Remember where you put this chicken. We're going to go bone side down. So the bone is facing toward the coal. We have our mild on the right. We have our spicy on the left. Bone side down. Very important. You want to set your timer. I kind of got it as a mental timer at this point. For 25 minutes, we're going to close this grill. We're about 4.5 inches up from the coals. All right. This is a level 2 on the settings on either side, about 4.5 inches. You can also do this in your broiler at home. And again, with the broiler, just set your oven to broil with about 4.5 inches from the top. Again, incredibly important. 25 minutes, bone side down. Don't mess with it. All right, we're now at the point in the program where we're going to go ahead and open this sucker up. It's been about 25 minutes these have been cooking. Now is the point when you want to baste. If you baste these too earlier than about 25 minutes in, they will absolutely tend to burn just due to the sugar content that's in whatever type of barbecue sauce you're using. I like to give them a nice little slathering there. All right, so it's been about 5 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and flip these real quick. I hope you guys can see what we've got going on here. You see, it's not burned. About 5 minutes just gives you a nice little browning on the other side here. Because we cooked them for 25 minutes bone side down, the chicken itself is about 95% done at this point. Here we're just wanting to get a nice little caramelization with the barbecue sauce on the top of the chicken here. So you get that nice chewy little outside crust. All right, we're about 5 more minutes in here. We're gonna go ahead and pull these off of the grill. Got a good smoke going on there. So this is the final piece right here. You can take a look at how it's done under some good light here, and you can take a look inside. There is absolutely no pink in there. You can actually still see some of the juices at the bottom there. And there's no barometer like the barometer of hungry young teenagers. What do you kids think about that chicken?
Pretty good.
That's some pretty good chicken there? What do you think there, hippie boy? Is that a thumbs up? He's too cool for school. There you go. And that's how you make the perfect piece of baked chicken. 25 minutes, bone down, baste it, 5 minutes, flip it, baste it, 5 minutes, and you're done. I'm Jay with A Good Life. Enjoy your good life. Have a great weekend.